Testing. Is that good? Okay. How are you? Turn the volume off. Okay, welcome. Is my speaker too loud? Is that good? I'm right here. As long as you can hear me, right? You don't have to see me. Let me just slip off my shoes real quick. My name is Karen. Welcome to our yoga series, which is kind of focusing on our core strength and balance. So we are going to start seated, so no need to get up. You're in the right place. So a lot of times people think our core is like our stomach, right? But it's not. It's a lot more than that. It's actually from about here to here all the way around. So it includes the upper buttocks, includes your abs, includes your obliques. Your psoas muscle is very important for your core strength. And a lot of times our balance is off because our core is not very strong. So that's why I'm doing this special yoga series, so that you can learn how to strengthen your core so that your balance is better, because 1 in 4 people over the age of 60 have a major fall, and it changes the quality of their life. Not only that, what you do today will change your life in years to come. So it's important to continue to work on that balance and core strength. So I hope you enjoy it. We're going to start seated. So it's important to sit in a very, very comfortable position. So I like to bend my knees a lot. If you don't feel comfortable bending your knees a lot, it's okay. Take your feet out in front. So the little bend in the knees is to help protect the spine. So it's very important that you're very safe through your practice today. It is your practice. So keep that in mind and listen to your body, and don't do anything that doesn't feel right or anything that you don't like to do. It's okay, because it's your practice. And remember that because we're all built differently, we all move differently. So it's okay to move in your own way. Remember, it's your practice. Let us start with the heart of yoga, which is breath. Let's close our eyes and just begin to breathe. An intentional breath, being aware of your breath, being aware of what's happening as you inhale in through the nose, bringing that air as deep down as you can into the belly, and then exhale through the mouth. Now you can take it into a purifying breath with your eyes closed, inhaling an even longer inhale, followed by an exhale through the mouth, very long. Again, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Continue this purifying breath, renewing the old air for new air, as we just clear our minds of any clutter from the day or from the weekend, or just anything that's taking up too much space in our mind. Let's just open it up, and for you, you don't have to be Christian to be here. Maybe this is a time where you find an intention to focus on through your practice today. For me, I am a Christian, so at this time I invite the Holy Spirit to just come into my being. And as I go through my practice, I worship my Lord Jesus. But for you, whatever your intention is, let that work for you. Let us continue breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And return to normal breath. In through the nose and out through the nose. Let's open our eyes, sit nice and tall, take your arms out long with your palms up. Inhale to float the hands up, and exhale, hands over heart center, and namaste. Inhale, float the hands back up, reaching up and out to the sides with long arms. Now, if you're someone with shoulder injuries, you can just come out in front instead of going above the shoulders, so you know your body. Work with it. Inhale and exhale. Continue your breath, continue your stretch, just inviting positive energy into your being. And one more. Inhale and exhale. Let's go into some side stretches, flipping that left palm up, reaching up for strength, and then over for flexibility. Go at your own pace, alternating side to side. Maybe letting your breath guide your movement through your whole practice today. know that the slower you move a joint or joints in your body, the more tension you release from that joint. So it's okay to just slow down. It actually helps you. Shh. 2 more big side stretches. Inhaling and exhaling with each big stretch. And float your hands down to your mat right by your sides. Let's go into some shoulder shrugs with breath. Inhale to shrug up and exhale to shrug down. Inhale up and exhale down. Maybe take it into a shoulder roll to the back. So we're just releasing the tension from our neck and our upper back, and then we'll warm up our spine before we get into our core work and our balance. It's important to warm up and to relax. One more shoulder roll. Let's bring the shoulders down away from the earlobes. Grow as tall as you can through the crown of your head. Maybe pull your belly into your spine and feel your core engage. Let's go in and do a little bit of the neck, loosening up the neck. Drop your chin to your chest with a long spine. Let your head be heavy and breathe. And then from there, we're going to continue down the spine. With your chin on your chest, just let your rib cage cave in. Let your shoulders round forward. Let your head get heavier and heavier, feeling the space between each vertebra just open up. And breathe. Inhale. On this exhale, slowly roll your chin up to your left shoulder. And when you get there, sit as tall as you can. Half neck circles in slow motion. Inhale, bringing the chin to the chest, rounding the spine. Exhale, bringing the chin up to the right shoulder and growing tall. Let's do 2 more slow half circles. Inhaling and exhaling. And 1 more. Inhale and exhale. Going to bring your gaze to the center. Seated butterfly, the soles of the feet pressed together. If you have lower back issues, all the more reason for you to be here, because a lot of times it's our core strength that causes us to have back injuries because we don't have a strong core. So if you do have lower back issues, listen to your body and I'll bring out many modifications for that. Don't let it keep you from strengthening your core. So if you have back issues, your feet are farther away, but maybe you want to go a little bit deeper, you can pull them in. Sometimes I like just to rock to get a little closer. And then grab hold wherever it's comfortable. Maybe it's your ankles, your knees, your shins. Grow tall, relax your shoulders down away from your ears. And here, the knees are really pushing away from each other instead of towards the earth. So just push them away. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, float your elbows over your knees. Tuck your chin and let your nose fall toward your toes with a little pressure on those inner knees. You'll feel an opening up of the lower back. Inhale, and on the exhale, we're going to roll our spine up slowly, stacking one vertebra on top of the other at a time, articulating the spine. Chin is the last thing to come up. Next, we're going to go into a seated cat and cow. So be comfortable wherever your feet are. You can even fold your legs if you wish. I'm going to stay in the seated butterfly. Using your hands on your knees, press your chest through. Lift your heart, lift your gaze. Inhale, filling the lungs up with air. And on the exhale, we'll nod our chin and round back into a Halloween cat or an angry cat. Inhale to press through, lift the heart, lift your gaze. And exhale, slowly round back. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come up to tall spine and sit nice and tall as we start some upper body circles, but small and slow. Gradually increasing the size of that upper body circle. So listen to your spine here. Work with your spine. If you want a little bit more, which means you want to go a little bit deeper, maybe you round your spine as you go to the back, like that. Lift your heart like the cow, and that way you get just a little bit more out of your stretch. Let's come back to tall spine, only to switch directions, but starting small and gradually getting that circle a little bit bigger. Remember, slower is better. One more big circle and come back up to tall spine. We're going to do a staff pose, but we're not going to stay here too long because we want to get into our core and balance work. So staff pose is all about grounding your legs by pointing your toes up to the ceiling, sitting as tall as you can, and you're in staff pose. Now maybe you want a little bit more. Maybe you float your arms out and keep them there because you have shoulder issues. Or maybe you reach up as high as you can and then hinge 2 or 3 inches, continuing to reach. Feeling the energy flow through your fingers, staying long through the spine, and the energy flowing through the soles of the feet. Maybe you stay here or join me for a forward fold, reaching for your toes, pressing your heart forward and breathing. On the next breath, let's go in and nod our chin and round the spine back up, stacking one vertebra on top of the other at a time. As we pull our knees in, we're going to transition to our hands and knees and go right into a child's pose. But before we do, let's get in the right position. Wrists are underneath the shoulders. The wrists, the knees, and the feet are all in alignment. It's an extended child's pose, so your arms are going to extend away from your shoulders as you drop your buttocks to your heels. Reach your hands as far away as you can, dropping your elbows and your forehead to the mat, or maybe you're using a block. So this extended child's pose is a modification for a downward dog. So as we go into a downward dog next, if that is not for you, if you have glaucoma or high blood pressure or vertigo, anything like that, just stay in your child's pose. Otherwise, if you want to join me for downward dog, come back to your hands and knees, tucking your toes under, tucking your chin, looking at your knees as you lift your knees and your sits bones up as high as you can, and then maybe pedaling your heels. Left heel drops down, right knee bends. Right heel drops, left knee bends, and continue your pedaling. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Both heels can press down for a little more as you push your sits bones up. And then slowly come back to your hands and knees. If you're in extended child's pose, transition to hands and knees. Uncurl your toes. We're going to go into some dancing lines by floating our right hand out in front of our shoulder, floating the right pinky up as high as you can, gazing up at that hand, and you're going to take this pinky back to your ankle as you circle your hips. So it's an arm circle with a big hip circle. It's called total body joint release. Well, they're actually called dancing lines. Inhale and exhale. And one more big circle, but this time we're going to leave that pinky up towards the ceiling, reaching up as high as you can, just opening up through that whole right side of your body. Then drop your hand underneath your heart, through your arm, into threading the needle, dropping the ear and the shoulder down, maybe taking your opposite hand on top of the small of your back, and breathe. Come back to your hands and knees. As we do our dancing lines on the other side, you're going to float now your left hand out in front of your shoulder. Left pinky comes up to the ceiling along with your gaze. Your hips are going to kind of swing out to the left as your left pinky comes to your left ankle, circling the hips, Circling the arms, slow, big, feel-good movement here. Inhaling and exhaling. On the next one, let's keep that pinky up to the ceiling, just opening up through the whole left side of your body. As we prepare to thread the needle, go on and take that hand under the heart, through the arm, dropping the ear, dropping the shoulder, maybe picking up that right hand and putting it on the small of your back. Coming back to your hands and knees, we're going to go into a bent knee plank. So we did this with our last session. Planks are one of the most important exercises you can do to strengthen your core. So let's do it the safe way first, which is a bent knee plank. Because it's bent knees and your knees are under your hips, it's safe if you have lower back issues because your hips can't sag. Now, if you have wrist issues, you can come down to your elbows or you can modify however you need to. Lift your knees about 2 inches off of the mat. Pull your belly into your spine and think about where is your weight. Transition your body weight through your whole body. Now, if you're someone that can't curl your toes under, you can just walk your hands out and go into a bent knee plank like this so that your toes are free. However, if you can curl them under, it is the best plank. Inhale, exhale, cone, and come out of your plank. Uncurl the toes. Drop into an extended child's pose for 2 breaths. Inhale on the exhale, come back to hands and knees. Next, we're going to do what is called bird dog. This is one of the best exercises you can do for core strength and for balance. I'm going to break it down. You're going to straighten out your right leg, curling your right toes under, making your right leg as long as you can, and then slide your left hand out away from your shoulder. You can stay here or continue with the progression. You can float that leg up. Your foot is flexed. The energy is flowing out of that left sole of your foot. Maybe you can float your arm up and flip your thumb up this time. So you're trying to get as much length as you can from your lifted fingers all the way to your lifted heel. And breathe 3 breaths here. Remember, you can always drop your hand and foot down and then come back up. You need to modify to work with your body. Go on and drop that hand, drop that knee, back into that child's pose for 2 breaths, just for a little bit of release. On the next breath, come back to your hands and knees. This time, go on and straighten out that left leg, curling the left toes under, floating your right hand out away from your shoulder as far as you can reach. Maybe you stay there. Maybe you go down to your elbow because your wrist hurts. Go on and float up your left leg. Left foot is flexed. Left leg as long as you can make it. And then float your right arm up. Flip your thumb up. Maybe open your fingers and reach. Again, we want to get as much length as we can from your lifted fingers all the way to your lifted heel. And 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. On the next breath, go on and drop the hand, drop the knee. We're going to go up to standing. Again, I'm going to do it modified just for safety purposes. So take your good knee out in front. Take your good foot out in front, all the way in front. If it can't go, if it's here and you need to pick it up and put it out there. You want your toenails under your eyebrows. You want a 90-degree bend. And then you can use that sturdy leg thigh to help you get up. Before you do, curl your back toes under and use that like it's a chair. Press forward. If you need help, let me know. We all have chairs next to us. They're there for your use. If you need to hold on to the chair while we do the warriors, just stand behind your chair. But let's go on and warm up our core temperature just a little bit more. So wide feet. Wider than your shoulders. Turn your toes out slightly unless you have knee injuries. Float your arms up. This is a really fun exercise, Moonflowers. It's all about your body and your breath. So as you do a little squat with your hips going to the back, we never want to pull our knees forward, right? Bring your elbows in. I'm doing a modified one. Inhale, exhale. So if you have knee issues, maybe you just bend your knees a little, but it's about the breath. Or maybe you go a little bit deeper. The progression would be to drop down even farther. Inhale, exhale. Let it feel good. Inhale and exhale. Sunflowers, big sunflowers, or maybe you just like a little sunflower. It's okay. You don't even have to bend your knees. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Bring your hands over heart center. Why don't we just go into our warriors here? So if you need the chair, go on and walk behind your chair, and I'll wait a minute. So when you're holding onto the chair, you just put one hand on the chair. We're going to go and turn our right foot out to the side. And then bend your right knee. So ideally, from your heel to your arch is a straight line. You're using your hand over your heart to lift your heart before we begin, right? And then reach your hands up and bring them out into long arms. Then rotate over to your right to look over your right hand. You're in warrior two. Now, if you need to hold on, you'd hold on with this left hand, right? Peaceful warrior. Drop your back hand, flip your front palm, begin to reach up a little, or maybe you want to reach up more. Remember, this is your warrior. And it's in holding this pose that we challenge our balance and our core. So maybe pull your belly into your spine and use your breath to help stabilize you. Come back into long arms. It's okay if you lose your balance, just come right back into your warrior two. It just means you're working hard. Side angle, you can either drop that right hand or elbow to that right thigh. Float your back hand up as long as it feels okay for you, and look down at your big toe to protect your neck. Side angle. If you want it more, a progression would be extended side angle where you would slide your hand down or not and breathe. Shh. Come back into your warrior two with long arms. This is a reset. And then we're going to take this back arm out in front and lift both hands over our shoulders into warrior one. This is a great stretch. And then back into warrior two, dropping your arms back long, turning the right foot forward, you're back into, this is called standing straddle split. Warriors on the other side. We're going to turn that left foot out. Rotate to look down your left hand. I think it's actually easier to balance when you sit down into a little bit. Try not to let your knee go forward, rather let your hips just drop down. And then breathe in warrior two. Peaceful warrior, drop the back hand, flip the front palm up, reach maybe just a little, maybe a lot, maybe into reverse warrior, up into the back, and breathe. Use your breath to stabilize. Pull your belly into your spine and feel your core engage. Shh. Back into long arms. So if you wanted to work on your balance a little bit more, you would just hold it a little longer. Side angle, you can drop your hand or your elbow to that left knee, float your back hand up, gaze down to your big toe. If you want more, you can slide your hand down or not for an extended side angle. Shh. Inhale on the exhale, come back into warrior two. Long arms. The longer the arms are, they're your levers, the easier it is to balance, right? We're going to take our back arm out in front, only to reach up into warrior one. Higher you reach, the easier it is. Pull the belly into the spine and breathe. Back into long arms, warrior two. We're going to turn that left foot forward. You're back into standing straddle split. We're going to do a good evening stretch pose by hinging halfway down so the nose doesn't go lower than your hips. Now you can stay here or join me for revolving triangle, dropping the left fingers under the heart, or maybe you want more, you can drop your hand. And then float your right hand and gaze up to the ceiling. Inhale. On the exhale, come back into long arms, only to transition into triangle on the other side. Drop your left fingers or hand under your heart. And then float your left fingers and gaze up to the ceiling. Inhale. And exhale, come back to long arms. And then slowly hinge it back up to standing straddle split. Inhale up. Exhale, hands over heart center. Let's bring our feet back together by taking our heels in. Be careful here. Big toes in, heels, toes, heels, toes, heels, toes, heels, toes. Good job. All right, tree pose, traditional yoga pose. But before we do it, let's do mountain pose. Why? Because I want you to feel what it feels like to be grounded. So mountain pose seems easy, but there's a lot going on. Drop your hands. Let your arms just hang down and dangle, shoulders down away from the ears. Pull your belly into your spine. Your pelvis may tilt up a little. Palms are forward. And then if you can close your eyes, close your eyes. But remember, you can always open your eyes. Your feet are about 2 fists apart, or maybe sits bones apart, where they naturally would be if you just stood there. Now close your eyes and press all 4 corners of the soles of your feet into the earth as you grow tall through the crown of the head like a strong, tall mountain. And just breathe, feeling the connection of the soles of the feet to the earth. This is a good opportunity to pray, to meditate on your Lord, or just your intention, or just be in the moment. Let us breathe. Now, if you want more, and remember you can open your eyes, but we're going to do a little bit of balance, some footwork. Inhale to roll your left heel up, flexing your left big toe. By the way, that's what prevents you from falling, is that flexion. And then exhale to roll the left heel down. So go slow. Inhale, right heel comes up. Exhale, roll it down. Inhale, left. Exhale, down. Inhale, right heel comes up, and exhale down. Open your eyes if you need to. We're going to float both heels up. I usually end up having to open my eyes. Now, can you just hover your heels? If your ankles are shaking, that's probably a good thing. You're challenging all those tendons and ligaments and your ankles that help us have balance and keep us from falling. You can always drop your heels. Inhale, exhale, go on and drop your heels. Let's do some shoulder rolls to the back, and then we'll go into our tree pose. We'll start with our hands over our heart. If you need to step off your mat, sometimes that can help. Just the cushion of the mat can throw you off. If you need to hold onto a chair, that's fine. But otherwise, we're going to go into our tree pose. I'm going to do it progression style, so it'll get harder and harder. Stay where you need to. First, lift up your left heel and sink the sole of your right foot into the earth, all 4 corners. Pull your belly into your spine. Do you feel your core engage as you pull your belly into your spine? You should continue to engage it. Find a spot in the room that's not moving and focus on it. Maybe you keep your big toe down. Maybe you slide the sole of your foot up your standing leg. And breathe. So breath is so important here. Maybe that purifying breath will help you stabilize. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale, exhale, and release. Drop your hands. Few shoulder rolls to the back, lifting your heart, lifting your gaze. Inhale, float the hands up. Exhale, hands over, heart center. We have tree pose on the other side, but I encourage you to have a different shaped tree. So maybe you're a tall tree, maybe lots of branches, maybe just a fat bush. It's your tree. So find your place. Lift up your right heel. It's okay to keep your big toe on the ground. Maybe you just keep picking it up and putting it down. Or maybe you can slide the sole of your foot onto your standing leg. And breathe. Stay tall. See what it feels like to pull your belly into your spine, and see how much more stability you get by doing that, engaging your core. Inhale, exhale, and release. So we can actually work at our homes on our balance with that tree pose by standing next to your kitchen counter and just putting your foot up. And then maybe you come to 2 fingers. You can just put your hand over your heart. Maybe 1 finger, and then your next step would be lift and touch. Maybe 1, 2, 3. Maybe you get to where you count to 10. Maybe you get to where you can do it longer. So it's important that you work on that on your own daily. You can do it for a minute a day. All right, let's go into chair pose. Float your hands up. Reach your fingers towards the ceiling and pretend there's a chair back there. Now, maybe you prefer the bar stool, that's okay. And go on and sit into your chair. Now, let's gaze down and be sure we can see our toenails. You always want to be able to see your toenails. If you can't, then lift up a little higher to protect your knees. Pull your belly into your spine. Now you can really feel your core, right? And then if you want a little bit more, maybe you float your heels up, balancing chair, or not. For 3, 2, 1, drop the heels. Inhale, float the hands up. Exhale, go back into your chair pose. We have a twist to add. Bring your hands over your heart center. Rotate to your left, gaze up to the left. Maybe your right elbow lands on your left thigh, and maybe you open your arms. Inhale. And exhale, back to prayer hands, back to the center, back to standing tall. Inhale. Exhale, back into your chair pose with the twist. This time, hands over heart, twisting to your right, gazing up to the right, dropping the left elbow on the right thigh, and then maybe opening your arms as long as you can. Inhale. Exhale, hands over, heart center, coming back up to standing. One more balance pose, and it is bound eagle. Bring your arms out. I'm going to break it down, should I say. Cross your left arm under your right. Lift your hands. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you can hook your index fingers. Maybe you can twist a little more and just hook up your hands. Now this is really important. Pull your belly into your spine. Lift your elbows up and push your elbows away from your body. Feel that stretch in your upper back. Now you can stay here. If you want the progression, cross the left leg over the right. I'm going to continue with more challenge, so stay where you need to. Sit in that bar stool or chair. And the next one I can't always do. You would take that left foot and hook it behind the right ankle. Lift the elbows up to help you. Try not to fall off your bar stool. Inhale. Exhale. Come up, uncross the legs, uncross the arms, circle them all the way back around because we have the other side to do. This time, go on and take the right arm under the left, lift the hands, maybe hook up the fingers, maybe you can twist it a lot. Lift your elbows up, push your elbows away from your body, feel that stretch, pull your belly into your spine. Maybe you stay here, maybe you cross the right leg over the left and sit in that bar stool or chair, and try to lift the elbows up and away to help you balance and breathe. Inhale and exhale, go on and stand up, uncross the legs, uncross the arms, come all the way down, and shoulder rolls back. So next week, I will add some more standing balance poses, but for today, we're going to go down to the mat and find our core again. So to go down to the mat, I like to do a swan dive down. You're welcome to use your chair if you need to. Swan dives, if you come to the end of your mat, take your hands over your heart center, soft knees. Inhale to float the hands up, and it's like a swan diving. Hips go to the back, hands come all the way down in front of your toes. Bring your hands down, bend your knees, and step back to hands and knees. And then we're going to transition onto our buttocks. So just swish your feet around. I'll go on and facial, as long as my buttock has my mat for cushion. Right? All right, first we're going to do a boat pose, and then we're going to do some bridges and core work. So for boat pose, go on and pull your heels in. We're going to do a little posture stretch first. Use your hands in front of your knees or behind your knees. Grab hold and grow as tall as you can. Now let's do a little core exercise here. I want you to exhale and pull your belly into your spine. Shh. Inhale to release. Do you feel it? Let's try it again. Exhale. Shh. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, roll past your tailbone. Inhale, lift your gaze, lift your heart. Exhale, lift one leg or both legs into tabletop. It's okay to bring your hands down if you need to, but try to keep it here. If you're not on your tailbone, it's much easier. Look at your belly, pull it into your spine. Lift your heart, lift your gaze. Lift your arms if you can. Maybe you straighten your legs, maybe you don't. And breathe 3 breaths in your boat pose. Inhale, exhale, grab behind your knees, hinge forward, grow tall, posture stretch. And now we're going to roll onto our backs. So to do that, we kind of do the same thing we just did, roll past your tailbone. We don't want any pressure on the tailbone. We're just going to lift our feet up and slowly roll one vertebra at a time. Go on and separate your shoulders, round your spine, and feel each vertebra come down to the mat. Go on and pull your knees into your chest. You can close your eyes here. I'll verbally cue you. And hold on to your knees, rocking them side to side. Go on and bring the soles of your feet down to your mat so your knees are bent. Your feet are about sits bones width apart. Let your arms be long and let your palms be down. So right here, we're going to do a little bit of core work. Pull your belly into your spine and press your lower back into the mat. You'll feel your pelvis tilt up. Inhale and exhale. Continue pulling the belly into the spine and pushing the lower back into the mat. So you're taking away that space on your lower back. It is touching the mat. You're pulling that belly in. You're doing the work. Continue to do that and then float your legs into tabletop, which just means that you have your legs in a 90-degree bend as though your calves were sitting on top of a coffee table. Again, pull your belly into your spine and push your lower back into the mat. You'll feel your core engaged. There are other parts of the core we can locate just by dropping our left big toe down to the floor. Nothing else moves in our body. And bring your left leg back to tabletop. Let's do 6 more on the left. Toe tap, tabletop. The whole time you're pulling your belly into the spine and spine into the mat. And 3, and 4. So now you're going to feel your obliques, maybe even your psoas muscle here. And 2 more toe taps. 1 and 2. You're back into tabletop. Legs, we have the right big toe. Let's re-engage our core, just really pushing that lower back into the mat and belly into the spine, dropping the right big toe down and back to tabletop. Exhale as you drop. Inhale to lift. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. 3 more. Exhale. Inhale. 2 more. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Let your feet just drop and dangle. Even shake your feet. Make sure they're really loose and relaxed. Then bring your hands on top of your kneecaps. Pull your knees towards your chest. Then open your knees out to the side. Push them down and then bring them back together. So you're just doing knee circles with relaxed legs. Soft and gentle. And now we're going to switch the direction of our circles. Push the knees down, open apart out to the sides, pulling them up and back together. And 2 more like this. Just loosening up the lower back, loosening up the hip joints, and then push your knees away, keeping your knees bent. Bring the soles of the feet back down to your mat. Sits bones width apart. Let your arms be long by your sides, palms are down. re-engage that core. We're going to go into some bridges. Press your lower back into the mat, pull your belly into your spine, your pelvis tilts up, and you can begin to peel your spine up off the mat, one vertebra at a time, lifting up with an inhale. And on the exhale, peel the spine down, peeling one vertebra at a time, going very slow. Release the pelvis. And then tilt the pelvis up, pressing the lower back into the mat, only to slowly peel it up with an inhale. And exhale to peel down. Let's do 3 more like that. So you're not going very high unless your breath is really long. It's all about your breath guiding the movement. Exhale down. And 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, let's hold this one. Exhale to lift your buttocks a little higher without arching your back. Now it's very important here to pull your belly into your spine and to lengthen from your hip bone to your kneecap, as though you were trying to touch a wall with your knees in front of you. Long, long thighs here from the hips to the knees, and breathe. Sometimes we interlock our fingers underneath our buttocks just to be sure our arms are long and our buttocks are up. And breathe 3 more breaths in bridge pose unless you feel you need to roll back down. Listen to your body. Release the fingers if they're interlocked and remove them from underneath your body as you slowly peel your spine down, 1 vertebra at a time. And release the pelvis. As we move into supine butterfly, once again, let the soles of the feet come together while the knees fall away from each other, pushing the knees more away from each other rather than down. And it's important here to engage your core so that your lower back doesn't feel awkward or doesn't feel any pain. So go on and push that lower back into the mat and belly into the spine and breathe. So I know I've repeated myself several times about pulling your belly into your spine into your mat, because today I wanted you to really become aware of your core. And I hope that that has helped you, just the continual reminder, because we can engage our core in almost everything we do, and especially if we start feeling off balance, or if we feel unstable, or if we just have any kind of back pain. Just pulling that belly into the spine can change that all around. Inhale, and on the exhale, go on and bring your knees back up. Separate your feet as wide as your shoulders. Slide your arms out into a T. We're going to do a little spinal rotation. Let both knees fall towards the floor on the left as you gaze to the right, letting your top knee be heavier than your bottom knee. And breathe. So this spinal rotation just isn't about the movement, the rotation of the spine. It's really a lot about stretching the lungs, the rib cage, and even your thoracic spine. So how deep can you inhale, feeling that stretch? Inhale deep. Pause and exhale. On the next breath, going to bring your gaze and your knees back to the center, only to let your knees fall towards the floor, this time on the right as you gaze to the left. And remember that deep breath helps to stretch the lung, the rib cage, the thoracic spine. As we get older, our lungs get stiffer just like the rest of our body. So it's important to take care of the lungs and the rib cage as well. So let us do that with our breath. Inhale deep and exhale. On the next breath, float the gaze and the knees back to the center. And let's bring our knees to our chest. We're going to bring our legs up the wall. You can support your legs with your hands behind your thighs and bring your toes up towards the ceiling. Now, if you have a chair and it's more comfortable just to rest your calves on that chair, you can do that as well. The whole idea behind Legs Up the Wall is to let your legs be weightless and let the blood flow from your feet down towards the ground. So it's the opposite of when we're standing all day or whatever it is that we're doing. If you can let your arms come down by your side, unless you need to support your legs, palms are down. And once again, pulling the belly into the spine and the spine into the mat. And breathe. On the next breath, we're going to float the soles of the feet back down to the mat as we move into final Savasana. Slide your left heel to the very left corner of your mat, your right heel to the right corner of your mat. Close your eyes, let your arms come out into a T and flip your palms up and just relax. The most important part of our practice is this total relaxation, because as we relax, we have more energy that will flow through our body. We release stress, and it's just good for our body. It can even lower your blood pressure. It can heal anything that needs healing in your body, or it can move towards healing. So just relax. Just let your pelvis fall where it naturally falls. Let your fingers open up and let them bend softly. And just be in the moment. Relaxing your toes and the balls of your feet, even the arches of your feet. Relaxing your heels, your Achilles tendons, ankles, your calves, behind your knees, your thighs and your buttocks, your lower back, which we have worked today. Just let it be, let it relax. Your middle back and your upper back, your shoulders, relaxing just a little more. And your arms, the insides of your elbows, even the insides of your wrist, the palms of your hands, your fingers, your thumbs. If your palms are facing upward and you relax your thumbs, your shoulders should relax a little more. Relax your hip bones and your pelvis, your belly, your rib cage, your chest, your neck, your scalp, and all the muscles in your face. Just let it go. Relax your forehead and your eyebrows, your eyelids, your cheekbones and your nose, even your chin and your earlobes. We can even relax our teeth. Let them part. Unclench them. Let your tongue fall away from your teeth. Relax your lips and just be. And breathe. Maybe that purifying breath. The longest, deepest inhale you have, so deep your belly rises high. Pause and then exhale all that air out with a very long exhale through the mouth. Your exhale kind of sounds like you're blowing through a straw. Let us inhale deep and exhale long. And one more purifying breath. Inhale and exhale. And return to normal breath as we become aware once again, coming back into awareness. Maybe rolling over onto your side in a fetal position, representing renewal or rebirth. As we slowly make our way up to a seated position, the way we began our practice. Knees just a little bent or a lot, whatever's comfortable for you. Let us close our eyes, and I like to close with an opportunity to lift up any prayer request. So you can yell your prayer request. Our eyes are going to be closed. Or maybe you just yell it in your mind silently. We can pray for each other in the Spirit. Let us pray. I lift up a prayer for everyone to open their hearts and let your hearts be filled with love and with grace and with gratitude, a thankful heart during this month as Thanksgiving is approaching soon. Let us just be thankful. What are you thankful for today? May your hearts be filled with joy from your gratitude. And most of all, may your hearts be filled with peace today. Let us open our eyes, sit nice and tall, take your arms out long with your palms up. Inhale to float the hands up, and exhale, hands over, heart center. Peace be with you, and namaste, and thank you for coming today. I hope you feel like you know where your core is now, and you can continue to work on that on your own and strengthen your core. You can see it's not that hard. It's just a matter of doing it and finding your core and using it whenever you can. So if you have any feedback after I turn off my microphone, please come talk to me. I'll be in the back of the room. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Thank you for coming. You're welcome.